joined by Malcolm Graham, the CEO and co-founder of Aceify. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us today. So apparently you're still playing semi-professionally. You're seventh in the seniors tour in the UK. Is that right, playing tennis?
I was, yeah. So last year at one point I was ranked seventh in the UK for over 40s tennis. Yeah.
Good.
So I wouldn't call it semi-professional though. It's
just for fun.
It's a bit of fun.
Good, well, as long as you enjoy it. Are you ready to pitch?
Yeah, I'm ready to pitch. I am co-founder and CEO of Aceify. Aceify is currently an app focused on tennis coaching, and I'm going to give you a presentation now about our seed funding round, which is currently live on Seedrs. So the issue that we're trying to address is, at the moment, if you're trying to find a sports coach or a personal trainer, it's typically very hard to connect with somebody and to find a good coach or trainer. So typically at the moment you would go on Google, you'd search for, say, tennis coach, you'd find a tennis club or a park that was offering tennis coaching, and you would say, can I have a tennis lesson please? Then somebody that didn't know you whatsoever would assign you to a coach that's probably not very busy and probably not very good, and not necessarily a very good fit for you. So the problem that we're trying to address is that at the moment it's very hard for somebody looking for sports coaching or for training to actually find a good trainer or a good coach. So our mission statement is that we're aiming to make it easy to find and book high quality sports lessons and fitness training. So how are we going to do this? So we're going to provide lots more data than you can find on Google or by word of mouth. So at the moment people would normally be recommended a coach, or they'd go on Google, and with doing that you get very limited information about that person that's going to coach you. So we're going to have very detailed information, details of the qualifications, age, photos, even videos of the coach in action. And so it will help you to make a much more informed decision on the person that you're going to be working out with or doing a lesson with. So we started the business in 2015, and we initially focused on tennis. This was because my co-founder Charles Homewood and myself both had a passion and love of tennis, and I played at quite a high level as a junior, and Charles is a top tennis coach, coaching some top players, nationally and internationally ranked players. So we had an idea that we could make tennis coaching better. So we built an app that was focused on tennis coaching, and we also build into that app lots of performance tracking metrics. So we have video coaching, we have the ability to track and benchmark different skills that you're learning to develop your tennis. And that app was launched. It was launched in 2017. It's been very successful. So we've booked over 4,000 tennis lessons on the app, and the turnover is about 120,000 so far. We realised that the tennis coaching market actually has a lot of similarities with other markets. So for example, golf coaching, personal training, and a lot of the problems that are faced by tennis coaches are actually universal. So we've now decided that we're going to make Aceify available to a wider audience across all sports and across fitness in general. So there's various different estimates of the size of this industry, but as you appreciate, fitness industry is absolutely massive. I mean, one set of data from Statistica was saying that the fitness industry is worth 87 billion per annum, and it's growing at 10% a year. That data said that roughly 30 billion was in the US and about 40 billion was in Europe. I saw some other data for the fitness and wellness industries combined in the UK was 23 billion. So if you combine wellness as well, so bringing in things like physio, massage and so on, that industry is estimated at 23 billion for the UK alone. So basically it's absolutely enormous industry, and we'd only really have to take quite a small percentage of it to be very successful. Okay, so why do the fitness practitioners need this product? So even really exclusive coaches and personal trainers sometimes struggle to get business. So even some of the best sports coaches in the UK working with famous people actually don't fill their schedule, which is quite remarkable. But the reason for that is they're extremely good sports coaches, but they're not extremely good at marketing. So that's where we come in. So my background in particular is in marketing, and I can see that if I can make it obvious that you can book these exclusive coaches and personal trainers to a wider audience, that will become a very popular service, and that's already proven to be the case. So we've had some extremely well-known tennis coaches on the app at the moment who are actually working with top 10 tennis players who are actually available for some private lessons, and that is something that is extremely valuable. So club player like myself to have a lesson from somebody like, say, Alistair McGaw, who's on the app and who's coached Kevin Anderson, it's extremely valuable for me to have 1 hour's coaching with him, but it's something that is attainable, and it's not something that you can find on Google. So if you just go on Google and try to find yourself a guy that's coaching a top 10 tennis player, you're going to get nowhere. But because of our links in the industry, and specifically because of my business partner Charles, he's able to reach out to these guys, and yeah, they do have a little bit of time, and you know, in between tournaments and so on, they can be made available to coach people from the general public. Obviously that, you know, would probably come at a much higher price point than your regular coach, but then the value that you'll get from being coached by someone like that is also significantly higher than your average tennis coach. So the business is up and running. As I said, we've booked thousands of tennis lessons. We have about 500 users currently. This slide says 450, but actually it's now about 500. And those are active users, so that means 500 people that are actually giving lessons on the platform or receiving coaching via the platform. So the expansion plans are that we plan to dominate tennis and then move into the wider fitness market, starting with the UK, then moving to the US. The current team is a mix of tech and business skills and sports industry skills. So Charles Homewood's a top tennis coach, and then my experience is around technology and business. We also have two very experienced angel investors still running their own business that are helping to guide us. Our growth strategy: short-term goals, we want to rebuild the app, make it simple, focus on getting good quality service providers and clients on the app, make the technology simple. The providers want clients, the clients want high quality providers. We're going to have a simple and easy to use app. Long-term goals, we want to be a global brand, so a marketplace like Uber, Deliveroo, and you know, ultimately we'd like to be a global brand like Apple. So we're looking for investors.
Thank you, Malcolm, for your pitch. Matthew, are you a tennis player?
I used to be, actually, and I keep thinking that I would love to get some coaching and rediscover my non-existent touch.
You need to get Aceify.
yeah, no, I'm going to sign up.
Thank you.
So, can I just clarify a couple of things about your commercial model?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that you take a cut of each lesson that's booked on.
Yeah,
on
correct.
site. So how much is your commission?
So we've been playing around with this. We believe that we're going to fall into about 20%. But we've been playing around with it, so we've tried 30, 10, and the financial model is averaging out at 20%. But it does depend on if we originate the business or if the coach puts his existing clients onto the app, that would be a lower percentage.
That's fair enough. And the 120,000 that you mentioned, is that kind of gross revenue, so total for the tennis lessons?
Yeah, that's what we've put through the app so far. So we launched in 2017, and so that's what we've booked on the app so far.
So your revenue is kind of 20,000
ish, right, roughly.
The kind of commission that you've taken on that. Okay, great. And so far, what's your cost of customer acquisition, and where do you think that will go? Because for me, that feels like the absolute crux of this.
Well, that is critical. I mean, at the moment, sadly, we haven't spent a lot on marketing. So what was in the fundraising is for marketing. I mean, at the moment, it's been very low because that's mainly been through word of mouth, but obviously that won't scale globally. So with the limited digital spend that we've had, we've been able to pull in customers at reasonable rates, but because it's quite low numbers, I'm quite reluctant to put too much importance on that at the moment.
Fair enough. And what is your playbook for sales and marketing?
Yeah, okay. So we've got an omni-channel marketing strategy, heavily reliant on digital. So we're going to do a lot of email marketing, retargeting. We're going to do quite a lot of SEO, and also a bit of paid social and organic social.
Okay.
You're specialising in tennis right now, but do you see going forward doing other sports as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So we see big opportunities for personal training, it's a huge industry, and also for golf coaching, running coaching, and some other sports as well.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
And just on the proposition, so I thought it was interesting when you say you find a good trainer or coach. And I guess I'd be interested in finding the trainer or coach that suits me and my lack of aptitude in my case, but also kind of my personality my work schedule and the kind of flexibility that I need. There's actually quite a lot about my personality that needs to be kind of transmitted to finding my ideal trainer. How do you go about that? How do you kind of go about assessing what the player needs?
So the player and the coach will both have a profile. So within that, we'll gather information, and we will try to accurately match your requirements with the tennis coach. So it might be a tennis coach that's specialising in performance players. It might be someone that likes beginners. It might be someone that likes kids, to teach kids. So everyone has specialisms. Everybody within tennis coaching and within sports coaching, everyone will have an ideal client, and we will try to map that in an algorithm. So I think what we'll be able to do will be a lot better than what happens at the moment, which is you just phone up a receptionist and they just assign you somebody randomly, basically.
Based upon their availability.
Yeah,
not,
and it's normally somebody that's very available, and that's normally the worst person. So I think with the app, you will be able to have a look at data around the coach. So, you'll be able to read the profile, you'll be able to see his qualifications, you'll be able to see photograph, you'll be able to get a bit of a feel for who you're actually going to go and meet, instead of what happens now, which is almost like you're randomly assigned, or you just go to a club and point at somebody. And, that's sort of what happens at the moment generally. So yeah, we should be able to enhance that and improve that. Obviously, on the app we'll have a multitude of different people, so you'll be able to, if you don't hit the right guy first time, you'll be able to try someone else, and it'll be quite easy just to to try people and find that right person for you.
Malcolm, that's all we've got time for. Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you very much.
If you'd like to find out more about Aceify, you can do so on Cedar's website, which is cedars.com.